An electrifying new rivalry is shaking the foundations of men's tennis. Two young stars, Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik have stormed onto the scene and rewritten the sport's future right before our eyes. Their rise has been so relentless that some now wonder if anyone else can compete with their fire and finesse. But here's where it gets controversial. Are these two really destined to monopolize tennis for years? Or will a surprise challenger emerge from the shadows? These questions are at the heart of Giri Nathan's new book, Changeover, a young rivalry and a new era of men's tennis. Nathan, co-founder of Defector Media, became convinced after witnessing their unforgettable showdown at the 2022 U.S. Open. He watched from his living room as Alcaraz miraculously saved match point and won a 5-set duel that went into the early morning hours. Rather than being just another late-night match, Nathan described it as a futurist epic, the kind of clash that signals a seismic shift in tennis history. Driven by this powerful moment, Nathan dedicated his writing to cataloging the past 3 explosive years during which Alcaraz and Sinner have fulfilled predictions by splitting Grand Slam titles and smashing their way into a new tennis stratosphere. He focused intensely on the 2024 season, where these two titans split the 4 major championships, rapidly separating themselves. Since January 2024, only Alcaraz and Sinner have hosted Grand Slam trophies in men's singles, leaving veterans like Novak Djokovic, who boasts a record 24 major titles, to dub them levels above their competition. Even their closest rivals have confessed. Sinner and Alcaraz have elevated tennis so dramatically that others look almost fragile next to their power and consistency. Their head-to-head battles culminated most recently in yet another final, their 4th, in Cincinnati in 2025. Alcaraz emerged victorious after Sinner retired due to illness when trailing 5-0. Many fans and observers now speculate, will this pattern persist at the imminent U.S. Open, or is an upset brewing? Nathan's interview details his early recognition of their talent, especially following online forums tracking promising juniors. Alcaraz, he notes, was always pegged as a future star due to dominate results. Sinner, however, was the revelation. Nathan only noticed him when he started tearing through second-tier tournaments, showing a less traditional but uniquely powerful trajectory. So why does tennis seem to breed these intense duopolies more than other sports? Think Borg and McEnroe, Sampras and Agassi, Federer and Nadal. The answer, Nathan muses, lies partly in the structure of tennis's major events. Best-of-5 matches are a ruthless filter for true talent. While luck and momentum may affect outcomes in other sports, Grand Slams generally ensure the top players emerge victorious. Another hidden factor, money and resources. Prize money and endorsements are heavily concentrated among the elite, creating a self-reinforcing cycle that keeps the very best on top. But here's a hot-button topic. Is Sinner's unexpected ascent really more surprising than Alcaraz's? Nathan admits Sinner's early career struggles with stamina and 5-set matches seemed at odds with his devastating ball striking, a unique gift that eventually translated into slam-winning form. For Alcaraz, the path was more typical of prodigies, meteoric and almost expected. Surrounded by adoring fans, Alcaraz's occasional shock losses spark intense debate. Nathan finds this endearing, noting that while the young Spaniard sometimes stumbles against lower-ranked foes, his overall trajectory is astonishing. These setbacks, he believes, are simply part of the maturation process. Of their many epic encounters, Nathan especially treasures the 2025 French Open final, which he calls a once-in-a-generation classic. Sinner nearly clinched victory on Alcaraz's favored surface, flipping early assumptions about their respective strengths. And this is the part most people miss. Their matches not only dazzle with athleticism, but also showcase breathtaking resilience and tactical innovation. One of the most memorable moments in Nathan's reporting came after receiving news of Sinner's anti-doping case, a bombshell that vaulted into the heart of tennis controversy. Sinner's camp remained evasive, and deep questions about the affair linger. Nathan ultimately concluded, based on evidence, that Sinner's detected substance was not performance-enhancing. Still, speculation abounds. Is elite tennis really free from such gray areas, or is there more than meets the eye? What do you think? The personal dynamic between Alcaraz and Sinner is another chapter ripe for debate. While their professional relationship is respectful and even friendly, they've even shared locker room conversations and private flights. Some fans yearn for the cutthroat hatred that fueled historic rivalries. Is that tension necessary to elevate drama? Or is a well-adjusted friendship just the sign of a modern athlete? Nathan's deeper research shattered some public myths. Alcaraz, often portrayed as a cheerful, carefree puppy, is just as susceptible to burnout and frustration as anyone playing an intensely physical sport. Sinner's reserved nature, meanwhile, reflects a desire to keep his private life apart from the public spotlight, a struggle faced by many top athletes. Will their reign continue? Given the current landscape, Nathan believes it could, perhaps for 2 or 3 more seasons, unless a teenage prodigy, like the rising Joao Fonseca, breaks through. Still, the physical intensity and relentless schedule may cut short these golden years. Should tennis rethink its grueling calendar? Does it rob fans of long-lasting rivalries and players of longer careers? Asked who will capture more majors, Nathan hesitantly leans toward Alcaraz, but only by a slim margin. Age and recent performances have closed the gap, suggesting a neck-and-neck race for supremacy. Embedded in Nathan's excerpt is the legendary 2022 U.S. Open quarterfinal, where Alcaraz and Sinner battled so intensely that the match became a computer game epic, announcing their ascendancy to the entire tennis world. With the likes of Djokovic out due to travel restrictions and Nadal hampered by injury, Alcaraz was the favorite, but the road was anything but easy. After outlasting former champion Marin Cilic in another 5-set nail-biter, Alcaraz faced Sinner under the bright lights. Both stars, seeded 3rd and 11th, impressed with ground strokes loaded with spin and power. Yet key differences emerged: Alcaraz's speed and daring shot selection versus Sinner's longer reach, exceptional timing, and rock-solid backhand. Neither had a dominant serve, usually the bread and butter of top men. But this vulnerability created exhilarating,